different types of people who perform different types of sacrifices, yajnas. So there are different kinds of sacrifices in terms of different categories. Factually, sacrifice means to satisfy the Supreme Lord Vishnu, who is known as Yajna. Yajna is a name of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, Yajna or sacrifice is actually meant for Lord Vishnu. This we have to understand. At the bottom of the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, for the impersonalist, who is impersonalist? Raise your hand, please. Yes, Abhinav.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, is it the philosophy that there's no personality of Godhead and the Brahman effulgence is the highest?
Okay, good. Mataji?
Impersonalist, similar answer, Prabhuji. One who likes to become one with the Brahman.
Okay, good. Shampriya Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So one who thinks that Krishna का कोई रूप नहीं है, Krishna is not a person, like कोई form नहीं है, like.
Good, yes. So who can tell me what are the two different types of impersonalists? Yes, Arav, what are the two types of impersonalists?
Hare Krishna. There's Mayavadis and I believe there's Brahmavadis.
Excellent. And what are they? Do you know?
Mayavadi is an impersonalist who believes that the Brahman is the highest, and they're also hostile towards the forms of the Lord. So they mean to demean them by saying that they've come in this world, and as a result, they've been accumulated Maya, and their body is not transcendental. And then Brahmavadi is a legitimate spiritualist who worships Brahman as the supreme.
And they have nothing against the personal form of the Lord. They have nothing against Vaikuntha. Whereas a Mayavadi thinks that all the forms of Lord are temporary manifestations of Parabrahma. So very good. You explained it nicely. Srila Prabhupada writes, for the impersonalist, the fire altar of sacrifice is the Supreme Brahman. And the offering is the self being consumed by the fire of Brahman. They want to offer themselves. And then that's it. There is no difference between the Jeev and Parabrahma. The Krishna conscious person, like Arjun, however, sacrifices everything for the satisfaction of Krishna. And thus, all his material possessions, as well as his own self, everything is sacrificed for Krishna. Thus, he is the first class yogi, but he does not lose his individual existence. So, a impersonalist sacrifices everything himself also for Parabrahma. On the other hand, a devotee like Arjun sacrifices himself, sacrifices everything, all possessions, for Sri Krishna directly. And a devotee is superior to a Brahmavadi. Why? Because Brahmavadi is Brahman realized, whereas a devotee, a bhakta, is Bhagwan realized, and Brahman, Parabrahman, is one aspect of Krishna. Brahmano hi pratishtha aham, Lord Krishna will say in Bhagavad Gita later on. I am the basis of the Brahman. So therefore, if we approach Krishna, our understanding of transcendence is complete. If we approach just Paramatma or we approach just Brahmajyoti, then our understanding of the absolute truth is partial. Who can tell me what is the difference between Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, and Bhagavan realization? We have discussed this before in Bhagavad Gita. Why did I say that Bhagwan realization is the complete realization, and Parabrahma realization and Paramatma realization are partial realizations. Yes, Anjali Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. In one of the Prabhupada gives example of sunlight, sun's disk, and the sun God himself. Sunlight is like Brahman, sun's disk is like uh, Paramatma realization, and sun God is Bhagwan realization.
Excellent explanation. Very good. You quoted Srila Prabhupada, then you explained very nicely. Yes. Gaur Chandra, Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, you had explained in the Ishopanishad section that the Brahman realization only represents the Sat form of the Lord. The Paramatma realization represents Sat Chit, and the Bhagwan realization is complete because it represents the whole Sat Chit and Ananda form.
Yes. Very good. Now, who can elaborate on this? Bhagwan is Sat Chid Ananda, eternal, full of knowledge, and full of bliss. In terms of practical experience, who can explain how does it differ? What is the difference between just Sat realization and Ananda realization? What is the difference? See, in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, and in one of the purports, Srila Prabhupada had quoted, what was the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam that talks about the Supreme Absolute Truth having these three features? What do the great sages say? Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yat ananya. Go, beta. Go ahead.
I was about to say the same verse, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Quote it. When you say it, it will sound very sweet.
Oh,
Go.
Prabhuji. Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdyate.
Now explain this verse line by line.
Vadanti is, they say, tattvavidas is those sages who know the actual tattva. Tattvam yad
What do they say? What do Tattvavids say?
yad jnanam advayam. So the supreme knowledge, which is advaya jnana, brahmeti paramatmeti
What is
bhagavaniti.
the meaning of Advaya? Why the supreme knowledge and the supreme Lord are called Advaya?
Dvaya means two. Advaya means who is non. There are
They
like
are
who's
non-dual.
non-dual. Yeah.
Absolute truth is
Yes,
non-dual.
Prabhuji.
We have
So
duality.
yeah.
We have duality.
Sorry.
Once upon a time, you were a small baby who could not even walk. Now you can run. So these
Yes.
are the different aspects of us. Sometimes we are in good health. Sometimes we are in bad health. These are our dualities. But do these dualities affect Krishna? Is Krishna sometimes in good mood and sometimes in bad mood? Is Krishna ever tired? Is Krishna fresh? Are these dualities in Krishna?
No.
Are these dualities in Brahman?
No.
Are these dualities in Paramatma?
No.
No. So therefore, Krishna is Advaya. The Supreme Absolute Truth is one.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the third pad.
So one who has three features, that is Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti Shabdyate. Brahman feature where he exhibits the light, compared to the sun rays, and Paramatmeti is the localized Paramatman form present in everybody's heart who guides the soul back to the Godhead. And Bhagavaniti is Shabdyate, the complete form, name, form, qualities, and transcendental pastimes are revealed. Whereas in Paramatma feature, we have only there's no Seva feature or the Leela feature. That is missing. And in the Brahman feature, which is even less, there's not even the form feature that we could see. It's just the light.
Very nice. Very nice.
Prabhuji, I had a question also. So the duality that we discussed, so that is also the doshas that we say him as nirguna or nirdosha. So Advaya and nirdosha are the same.
Yes. Advaya and Nirdosha here will be same, or Nirgud will be same, because our qualities, they differ, they change, they transform, isn't it? But Krishna never transforms. Krishna does not have any material qualities, and Krishna does not have any material imperfections, doshas. So
Thank you
Krishna is
so much.
Aman, Nirdosh, Nirvikar.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Krishna. Okay.
Thank you.
So yes. So now, in terms of practical experience, what is the difference? What do we get when we attain Brahman? Raise your hand. If someone becomes Brahman realized, what does the person attain? Yes, Gopesh.
Freedom from the dualities of material nature.
Excellent. And what else? Specifically, what? What aspect of material existence?
The pain part.
Very good. Which manifests as? What are the doshas of material existence?
Birth, age, old age, disease.
What is dukkha doshanudarshanam that Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita?
The threefold miseries.
Yes, and they manifest the fourfold miseries. Threefold miseries, yes, but they are basically seen as four. What are they?
The ones caused by our own self.
That is tapatraya, that is different. But what are the four problems of material existence that you will not have when you attain Brahman?
Birth, age, old age, and disease.
Yes. And what are they called in Bhagavad Gita in Sanskrit?
Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi.
Excellent. Very good, Gopesh. Very good. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam. Shri Krishna tells us in Bhagavad Gita that one aspect of knowledge is to see the fault in the material world of these four doshas. There is Janma, which is painful. There is Mrityu, which is death, which is painful. There is Jara, which is old age. And there is Vyadhi, which is diseases. Everybody is affected by birth, disease, old age, and then finally death. These are the four dosh of material life. Therefore, a spiritualist will say, I don't want material life. I want something beyond that. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. In the material world, these four doshas will remain, as Ananya was mentioning. But in the Brahman stage, when we reach the Brahman platform, these four doshas do not exist. And that is the platform where spiritual life starts, where we start inquiring beyond this world. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Now we want to inquire about the Brahman platform, where Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, birth, old age, disease, death will not exist. So these four things will not touch us in the Brahman platform, Brahman realization platform. But what are the things that extra you will get? This is for everybody, raise your hand. In the Paramatma realization, what extra gain we have in Paramatma realization? Yes, Parima Mataji.
We see the form of the Lord in Paramatman.
Very good. So in Brahman realization, there is eternal existence. It is Sat.
Hmm.
It is real. It is eternal existence. But in Paramatma realization, we actually get darshan of the Lord.
Lord, yeah.
Beauty.
Beauty, yeah.
There is beauty. You will see Kamala Nayan, Vishnu. You will see his beautiful Kaustubh Mani. You will see his beautiful Vaijayanti Mala. You will see his beautiful lotus feet, Chaturbhuj Murti, his Pitambar Vastra, his Kirit Kundal. All those things you will see. His beautiful arched eyebrows, his curly locks of beautiful soft black hair. All these things will be seen. His beautiful reddish lips. This is Paramatma realization. There is beauty. And Paramatma is everywhere in everyone's heart. So it is the abode of all knowledge. So Chit comes, fully cognizant. That realization comes in Paramatma realization. And then what happens? Again, this is for everybody, raise your hand. What happens in the realization of Bhagwan? What extra we are getting? Yes, Mataji.
Being able to serve Krishna directly and enjoy the different rasas.
Very nice. Paramatma, there is no relationship. मैं परमात्मा का भाई हूँ या मैं परमात्मा का फ्रेंड हूँ. You cannot say I'm a friend of Paramatma or I am the brother of Paramatma or I am the mother of Paramatma. Eh? What is this? Yogi sitting in meditation on the Paramatma cannot claim to be the father, cannot bind Paramatma with a rope to a wooden mortar, cannot chase behind the Paramatma. Paramatma is not going to run. Paramatma is just there. So in Bhagwan realization, now you have a personal relationship with Krishna. And there are 5 types of relationship. Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakyaras, Vatsalyaras, Madhuryaras. So therefore, very scientifically we can see, very analytically we can see how there is a vast difference between just Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, and then the complete understanding of Bhagwan. Bhagwan's effulgence is Brahmajyoti. And Bhagwan's expansion, Ansha expansion, is Paramatma. So if we have Bhagwan, we have Brahmajyoti and we have Paramatma included. It's the full package. Just like in $100, $10 is included and $1 is also included. Haribol. So that is Bhagwan realization. Even though the Supreme Absolute Truth is one, but he appears, he exists eternally in 3 features. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagwan iti shabdate. So here in this verse, Shri Krishna is saying that some who are attached to the Brahmajyoti, they focus on the Brahmajyoti and they offer themselves in the Brahmajyoti. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying, a bhakta, a devotee, offers everything in one's possession and oneself. Manasa, Deha, Geha, Jo Kichu More, Arpilu Tuapade, Nanda Kishore. That is the bhakta. He offers all possessions and himself or herself to the Supreme Lord Krishna, because Krishna is the basis of Brahman. Therefore, a devotee of Krishna who has sambandha with Krishna, who has a relationship with Krishna, who is directly serving Shri Krishna in Bhagwan realization, such a person is superior to someone who is simply meditating on Brahmajyoti or simply meditating on Paramatma. Is this clear to everyone? So, which realization is complete? Bhagwan realization. Text 26. Shrotraadinindriyananye संयमाग्नेषु जुह्वति शब्दादीन् विषयानन्य इंद्रियाग्निषु जुह्वति. Some, the unadulterated brahmacharis, sacrifice the hearing process, shrotra, adi, and etc. Sacrifice the hearing process and the senses, all the other senses, smelling, tasting, seeing, everything. But beginning with hearing, in the fire of mental control. Mental control is samyama. Samyama, to control the mind. When we keep mind control, controlling our mind as the objective, and then whatever we do to control the mind, if we are doing it for the pleasure of Krishna, then controlling the mind becomes a sacrifice, becomes a yajna. And in the yajna means there is fire and there are offerings in the fire. Correct? Everybody agrees? There is Agni and there is Ahuti. There is a sacrificial fire and then you offer things in that fire. The fire is the tongue of Lord Vishnu. And you are offering different objects. You offer ghee, you offer grains, you offer fruits. So, controlling the mind is the Agni, and our senses, eyes want to watch something, movie, but no, I'm going to focus on Krishna. So then we are offering our eyes in the sacrifice of mind control, in the fire of mind control. The tongue wants to eat restaurant food, but no, I will eat Krishna Prasad. We offered our tongue in the sacrifice. Haribol, isn't it beautiful? This understanding is so beautiful, Shri Krishna is giving. So the brahmacharis, they sacrifice all their senses into the fire of mind control. Why especially it is said unadulterated brahmacharis? Because the greatest temptation in human life is to cohabit with the opposite sex and to live in the comfort of home. Please listen carefully, my dear friends. Why Grahastha ashram is the default ashram for all human beings? Isn't it an expectation कि बच्चा बड़ा होगा, शादी करेगा? Child will grow up, then he will get married. When we think about our children, what do you think? I have to save money for my kids' education and for their marriage. Isn't it? So it's a default setting that the child will grow up and then he will get married. He will have a career, he will get married, or she will have a career, she will get married. Why? Because, my dear friends, in Grahastha ashram, there is no one to watch over us, there is no one to check us spiritually. In Grahastha ashram, if you start chanting, if you start trying to be vegetarian and eat only Krishna Prasad, you go to any marriage, go to any family get together, people say, "Hey, why you are doing so much Krishna consciousness? This is not good. You are doing too much." In Grahastha ashram, they will say like this. That is the problem of Grahastha ashram, my dear friends. In Grahastha ashram, the default setting is sense gratification. Whereas, once one case had come to me, a complaint about a brahmachari. Do you know why? You will find it very difficult. This brahmachari had given 20 years of his life to ISKCON as a saffron brahmachari. And there was a complaint against him that we should take action because he came from the airport and some devotee carried the bag. And when the handbag was kept, a CD fell from the bag. And the CD was the movie The Godfather. It's a Hollywood movie. So immediately, the person who found it immediately came complaining that Prabhuji, we have to take action. I saw the Godfather movie ka DVD in the bag of this saffron brahmachari. Means on the laptop, he is watching Hollywood movie. This is the level of strictness for a brahmachari. And a grahastha, if does not have Netflix membership, they will say, "Arey yaar, why you are torturing your children? They have a right to Netflix. Why you don't have Netflix membership? What kind of a grahastha you are?" See the difference between brahmachari ashram and grahastha ashram? Therefore, grahastha ashram is very dangerous, my dear friends. The default setting is materialism. Whereas in brahmachari ashram, the default setting is bhajan. Default setting is tapasya, austerity. Therefore, Sri Krishna is saying, for the brahmacharis, they are sacrificing all their senses in the fire of mind control. I want to get married. I want to enjoy sense gratification opposite sex. No, you become celibate. You're offering your senses into the fire of mind control. Control your mind. Arey, I want to sleep on a nice, comfortable Tempur-Pedic. Nahi, you sleep on the floor in the ashram for the rest of your life. Can you imagine this brahmachari sleep on the floor? Have you ever seen a bed in brahmachari ashram? That is the difference between brahmacharis. Therefore, we should have respect. And when this case came, that's what I said. That 20 years of bhajan, 20 years of sacrifice, that one DVD of Godfather movie will take away. Conversation must be had. That Prabhu, are you watching this because it's going to help you in your preaching? Is this something that is going to be favorable for your bhakti? Is there a reason you're watching? Did someone gift it to you? Is it just there? What is it? Conversation, you cannot just judge like this. Because brahmacharis have sacrificed so much. And yes, maybe he's watching a movie every day, different movie every day. But still that person is chanting 16 rounds. Still that person is following the regulative principle. Still that person is serving Srila Prabhupada in his or her own way. And that good has to be seen. And where rectification is required, rectification should be given by the proper authority with love. With love. Once in a meeting, one very senior counselor was speaking to one sannyasi in ISKCON, His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj. Many of you might have heard from Belgaum. His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj. Sadhu Purush. Very, very saintly devotee, saintly Vaishnava. And the question was asked that this counselor is sometimes short-tempered with the counselees in the Bhakti Vriksha, sometimes get short-tempered with the Bhakti Vriksha members. Some Bhakti Vriksha members feel scared to approach. They have given feedback that he's little unapproachable, little heavy-handed, little dominating, controlling. You go to Vrindavan, you must go with my permission. Without my permission, you cannot plan to go to Vrindavan, Mayapur. Very controlling. So, and there are so many complaints. Should we just remove this counselor? And His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrit Swami Maharaj said that that is not the solution. Solution is that this devotee should be rectified. If there is any member who wants to switch and go to another group because they feel more connected there, let them switch. Make it free. But don't just reject this devotee because of some imperfections, some faults, some discrepancies. Correct him, counsel him, train him. Counselor also has superiors and they should correct, rectify, but not just reject people like that. So, this we have to understand. Here, Shri Krishna is talking about the unadulterated brahmacharis who are doing what we cannot do. We need our temper-pedic bed. We need our own schedule. We can wake up anytime, nobody's checking us. We can sleep anytime, nobody's checking us. We can have any Netflix or any movie membership, nobody's checking us. But a brahmachari lives under the microscope. Public bedroom. You sleep on the floor in the brahmachari ashram. You have to wake up for Mangal Arati. You have to attend the morning program. You eat what is served in the temple. You go anywhere with the permission of the temple president or your guru. It's a very restrictive life, my dear friends. So therefore, people who have lived for decades as brahmachari in ISKCON, we should have a lot of respect for them. Of course, if there are deviations, then appropriate authorities should put them on a path of rectification. But here Shri Krishna is saying that the brahmacharis sacrifice their senses, their indriyas, gnanendriya, karmendriya, active senses, knowledge acquiring senses into the sacrificial fire, yadnik agni of mind control. Mind control is their fire. And the others, the grihasthas, regulated householders, sacrifice the objects of the senses in the fire of the senses. Hare Krishna. Krishna's language na is very, very cryptic. And therefore, Bhagavad Gita is called Gita Upanishad. Upanishads are known for cryptic language. Krishna says, the Sadgrihasthas, the regulated householders, they sacrifice the objects of senses in the fire of the senses. Who can explain this? Raise your hand. What is Krishna saying? Brahmacharis sacrifice their senses in the fire of mind control. Grahasthas sacrifice the objects of sense gratification into the fire of the senses. Yes, Keshav Madhav Prabhu.
To Yukta Vairagya, basically every single thing that we are doing in our Grihastha life, or every single object that usually the world perceives as sense gratificatory object, the object of our sense gratification, that we are dovetailing fully in Krishna consciousness.
Means a brahmachari has got celibacy. A grahastha gives up celibacy temporarily, but for
begetting Krishna conscious
in
children.
yajna,
Yes.
for begetting Krishna conscious children. You see what Krishna is saying? A grahastha will indulge in the objects of sense gratification, but that will also be done with the attitude of yajna. And what is yajna? Yajna is any activity performed for the pleasure of Vishnu. That is yajna. Any activity done for the pleasure of Shri Krishna, it is yajna. It can be Sankirtan yajna, it can be a fire yajna, it can be japa yajna, yajnanam japa yajnosmi. It can be swadhyaya yajna, where you are studying for the pleasure of Krishna, Shastra. So a grahastha will use an iPhone. Grahastha will use a car. Grahastha will live with a person of the opposite sex. Grahastha will perhaps have a TV. Grahastha will have a bank account. But everything will be done as a sacrifice for Vishnu, as a yajna. The bank account will be used to give donations during Janmashtami Gaur Purnima. The car will be used to go to the airport to receive a great devotee who has come for Harikatha. Sannyasi. Haribol. House will be used to invite Vaishnavas. You see? All these things are given up by a brahmachari, by a sannyasi. I don't have a house, I don't have a car, I don't have a bank account. Grahastha will take all these things. But a sadgrahastha, a regulated householder, will use all these things in yajna. In yajna means in the service of Lord Vishnu, for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu. Are you understanding? So what are we? We are grahasthas. So what is the difference between Phalgu Vairagya and what Keshav Madhav Prabhu said, Yukta Vairagya? Who can explain? I want a child to explain the difference between Phalgu Vairagya and Yukta Vairagya. A child who has not spoken. A child who has finished SAT doesn't count as a child. Pre-SAT child. Who can explain? Difference between Phalgu Vairagya and Yukta Vairagya. I expect North Carolina devotees to answer because one Sunday feast there I had spoken exclusively on Yukta Vairagya. But the North Carolina devotees are hiding. I can only see forehead or cap. Who knows the difference between Phalgu Vairagya and Yukta Vairagya? Haridas is trying to hide. Haridas. Lokesh. Lokesh and Narayana Dina Bandhu. Who knows? Raise your hands. Aditi, Amala, Divya Mataji for the rescue. Hari Bol.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna Prabhuji, it reminds me of the lecture that you gave one day that it's like Falgu Vairagya, like a monkey Vairagya. Monkey lives in the forest naked, eats only fruits.
Markat
But
Vairagya.
oh, that's Markat. Okay, Falgu. Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay.
I remember
Okay. Abhinav, you have to come now.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Phalgur Vairagya,
Lord Pranam.
when you
All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Phalgu Vairagya is when you just give up everything. Nothing is of any use. Give up everything no matter what. And Yukta Vairagya is appropriate renunciation where you use things if they're helpful in our bhakti. Use things in the service of Lord Krishna.
Hari Bol. Anasaktasya Vishayan Yatarham Upayunjate. निर्बंध कृष्ण संबंधे युक्तम वैराग्यम उच्यते. Yukta Vairagya is that Vairagya where you are anasaktasya vishayan. You are not personally attached to the objects of sense gratification. Yatharham upayunjata, but appropriate whatever is necessary, whatever is required for service, you use that. How? Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandhe. By seeing the Sambandha with Krishna, by seeing the connection with Krishna for Krishna's service. That is Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyate. That is called appropriate renunciation. So like that. So therefore, this is the difference between the brahmachari and the grahastha. Brahmachari, they sacrifice their senses into the fire of mind control. The fire is mind control and their senses are starved. They starve their senses. That is brahmachari life. Grahastha life is you offer the objects of sense gratification to the senses, but in a regulated way, according to dharma, without violating dharma, for the pleasure of Krishna. So beautiful. So which path do we have to follow? Haripath Prabhu, I cannot bear your silence anymore. I want to hear your sweet voice. Jai Jagannath. Which path do we have to follow? Yukta Vairagya. We have to follow the path of Yukta Vairagya. Yes, Yuvraj, you had raised your hands. Come back. Where are you? Yes, Yuvraj. So, Yuvraj, you tell us, how does a Grahastha use this principle of offering objects of sense gratification to the senses, but with Krishna in the center?
Am I audible now?
Yes, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Jai Sri Prabhupada.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
So, Prabhuji, we should use Yukta Vairagya because we should use whatever material things we have, as you have explained, right? We have a home, we have a car, right? Whatever means what all the Vaishnavas, we can serve.
Correct.
Unattached to all our, materialistic thing. I think that's what we
Correct.
should.
See, a brahmachari is supposed to not raise funds or earn money, spend time in earning money. But We as grahasthas have to work so we can earn money. So when Krishna's temple needs, we are able to donate. Correct? So we offer the objects of sense gratification to the senses, but with the idea of serving Krishna. That is a regulated grahastha. Yuvraj, you wanted to say something, beta? Unmute.
Yes, Prabhuji, we can use our mobile to hear lectures.
Very good. Very good. And we can use our money to buy a mobile and give it to a brahmachari, give it to a sannyasi. So they can also use it in the service of Krishna. Because a sannyasi brahmachari is not supposed to earn money. So they cannot go to a showroom, Apple showroom, and buy an iPhone. But we can donate. So that is the responsibility of the grahastha. We offer objects of sense gratification to the senses with Krishna in the center. Therefore, it is called yajna. Otherwise, it is not yajna. 27. सर्वाणीन्द्रिय कर्माणि प्राण कर्माणि चापरे आत्म संयम योगाग्नौ जुह्वति ज्ञान दीपिते. Still others who are interested in achieving self-realization through control of the mind and senses offer the functions of the senses and of the life breath as oblations into the fire of controlled mind, samyama, controlled mind. Now, this is a different process now. Therefore, I'm going to read the purport, okay? Listen carefully. Srila Prabhupada explains. Srila Prabhupada says, the yoga system conceived by Patanjali is referred to herein. So this is something that we may not be practicing. Remember, in the path of upasana, in the path of spiritual practice, there are many, many different branches. And we as Vaishnavas may not be acquainted with every single. For example, a good student in Georgia Tech may not understand every single subject that is being taught in Georgia Tech. Correct? So, this is something different. Patanjali's yoga system is not what we generally are studying as bhaktas. So, let's read. But we should still have the basic knowledge of that. In the Yoga Sutra of Sri Patanjali, the soul is called Pratyagatma and Paragatma. Two types of designations are there, depending on the consciousness of the person. As long as the soul is attached to sense enjoyment, it is called Paragatma. But as soon as the same soul becomes detached from such sense enjoyment, the soul is called Pratyagatma. The soul is subjected to the functions of 10 kinds of air which are at work within the body, and this is perceived through the pranayama, through the breathing system. The Patanjali system of yoga instructs one on how to control the functions of the body's air in a technical manner so that ultimately all the functions of the air become favorable for purifying the soul of material attachment, becoming from Paragatma to Pratyagatma through breath control and meditation. According to this yoga system, Pratyagatma is the ultimate goal, becoming detached. This Pratyagatma is withdrawn from activities in matter. The senses interact with the sense objects, like the ear for hearing, eyes interact with objects that are worth seeing, nose for smelling, tongue for tasting different foodstuffs, hand for touching. And all of them are thus engaged in activities outside, here and there. They are called the functions of the pranavayu. The apanavayu goes downwards. The vyanavayu gets to shrink and expand, shrink and expand, shrink and expand. Samanavayu adjusts the equilibrium. Udanavayu goes upwards. So there is apanavayu going down, udanavayu going upwards. And when one is enlightened, when one reaches the understanding of the soul, Atmavit, then one engages all these in searching for self-realization. So that is the path of Patanjali. But in today's day and age, for us, 21st century people, it is not a practical process. Bhakti is much superior because we are directly getting in touch with Shri Krishna, who is the ultimate aim of everything. 28. Dravya yajnastapo yajna yoga yajnastatha pare swadhyaya jnana yajnascha yatayah samshita vrataha. Having accepted strict vows, some become enlightened by sacrificing their possessions, and others by performing severe austerities. Tapa yajna, severe austerities, by practicing the yoga of eightfold mysticism, the Ashtanga Yoga, Yoga Yajna. See, everywhere there is Yajna word used. Why Yajna word used everywhere? For Tapa Yajna, for Dravya Yajna means to sacrifice one's things, money, wealth, house. There is Dravya Yajna, there is Tapa Yajna, there is Yoga Yajna. Here Yoga means Ashtanga Yoga. Why the word Yajna is used everywhere? Very simple. I have said this 15 times. Please raise your hand. Yes, Gopesh.
Because all of this is being done for the pleasure of Sri Krishna.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Or by studying the Vedas to advance in transcendental knowledge. And that is, of course, called as Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya Yajna. That is a Jnana Yajna. So, these different types of yajnas Shri Krishna is describing here. This is the beauty of Bhagavad Gita, my dear friends. Bhagavad Gita is a very broad scripture that talks about the different paths, and whichever path you are on, you are encouraged by Shri Krishna. It's a very broad path. Therefore, all Hindus accept Bhagavad Gita. They all accept Bhagavad Gita. 29. Apane juvati pranam prane panam tatha pare pranapan gati rudva pranayam parayana apare niyatahara pranan praneshu juvati. Still others who are inclined to the process of pranayam, breath control, breath restraint, to remain in trance, they practice another type of yajna, my dear friends. What do? They practice yajna by offering the movement of the outgoing breath into the incoming breath, and the incoming breath into the outgoing breath, and thus at last remain in trance, stopping all breathing, like Dhruv Maharaj. Others, curtailing the eating process, offer the outgoing breath into itself as a sacrifice. So, all very, very complex things. We have to read Srila Prabhupada's purport here. The system of yoga for controlling the breathing process is called pranayam. And in the beginning, it is practiced in the Hatha yoga system through different sitting postures. There is asanas that help in these pranayam breathing exercises. All of these processes are recognized for controlling the senses and for advancement in spiritual realization. The purpose of all this is sense control. Imagine if one is sitting in one asana, even conscious of the breathing process, even controlling the breathing process, how much jitendriyata, how much sense control that person will get, isn't it? How much sense control the person will get. So the purpose of this yoga is to gain sense control. This practice involves controlling the airs within the body as to reverse the direction of their passage. The apana air goes downward and the prana air goes up. The pranayam yogi practices breathing the opposite way until the currents are neutralized in purak or equilibrium. Purak means equilibrium. Offering the exhaled breath into the inhaled breath is called rechak. When both air currents are completely stopped, one is said to be in Kumbhak Yoga. By practice of Kumbhak Yoga, one can increase the duration of life for perfection in spiritual realization. They want to increase their longevity. We know these yogis, they can live for a long time. But what is the purpose of lengthening their lifespan? Clearly, Srila Prabhupada is saying, They can increase the duration of life for perfection in spiritual realization. They want more time in this body so they can practice more yoga. They can make spiritual progress. The intelligent yogi is interested in attaining perfection in one's life without waiting for the next life. They want to perfect in this life only. For by practicing Kumbhak Yoga, the yogis increase the duration of life by many years. A Krishna conscious person, however, now please listen carefully. A Krishna conscious person, Srila Prabhupada is saying, however, being always situated in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, automatically becomes the controller of the senses. My question to you is, raise your hand. How does a Krishna conscious person automatically become Jitendriya? Raise your hands if you know. How does a Krishna conscious person automatically becomes Jitendriya? Someone who has not answered. Yes, Achyut Kishore Prabhu. How does a Krishna conscious person automatically become Jitendriya? What is the meaning of Jitendriya?
Jitendriya means Prabhuji, control of the senses, full control of the senses. And
Indriya means senses. Jit means to win over, to control, conquer.
yes. So a devotee is already engaged in multiple ways in the service of Krishna by through chanting and engaging in some spiritual services. His hands are engaged, his eyes are engaged in seeing the beautiful form of the Lord, or his ears are engaged in hearing the Harikatha of the Lord. So all the senses, maybe I have not covered all the senses, but all of the senses of a devotee are already engaged in the service of the Lord. So that's how.
Yes. Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindaya Vachamsi Vaikuntha Gunanuvarana.
Ambarish Maharaj.
Rama of Ambarish Maharaj.
Yeah.
Right? So like that. All the senses are engaged in activities of Krishna consciousness. In Krishna's service, therefore a devotee is naturally sense controlled. Jitendriya means sense control. Devotee senses, being always engaged in the service of Krishna, have no chance of becoming otherwise engaged. Today in the hospital, one co-hospitalist, she had baked cookies at home. So she gave me. And I said, sorry, I cannot have because they have egg in it. Oh, okay. So see, how even if I want, I cannot eat because it is not prasad. A devotee lives by these rules. And these rules protect us from going away from Krishna. Now, our Guru Varga have given a Siddhanta. Only eat Krishna Prasad. So then finished. We cannot eat anything. Haribol. Whatever we eat, we have to offer it to Krishna and eat. If it is not offered to Krishna, we cannot eat. Ho gas, the tongue is controlled. Jivha jai, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. To win over conquer the tongue. Like that. So, at the end of life, the devotee is naturally transferred to the transcendental plane of Lord Krishna. Consequently, devotee makes no attempt to increase longevity. Please raise your hand. Srila Prabhupada is saying, devotee makes no attempt to unnecessarily increase longevity. Why? Please raise your hand. This is very important. Yes, Golok Vasini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhamma Pranam.
North Carolina Rising.
Jai Shri Srila Prabhupada Prabhuji. Prabhuji, because the devotee wants to go back to Godhead. He has no interest in living longer, staying here and enjoying the material senses and material gratification.
But you said devotees don't enjoy sense gratification, don't enjoy material pleasures.
They don't want to do it because they want to engage all their material engagements into the service of Krishna. Their main goal is to go back to Godhead.
Yes. So devotee is happy. Devotee is happy, whether in this world or in Golok Vrindavan. In this world, a devotee will engage in Man Mana Bhava Mad Bhakto Mad Yaji Mam Namaskuru. And in the other world also, the devotee will engage in the same things. Arav's little sister knows one story very nicely. Now let us test. Now let us test Anvika's big brother. Which story am I talking about? You have to have a siddhi of mind reading. You should be able to read my mind.
So I'm thinking.
You can call your sister and ask her in the meantime. Or maybe
Yes.
Abhinav knows. Abhinav is your brother because your somebody is related to somebody. Or so I was told. Abhinav, which story?
I want Arav to answer, but I'll give a hint.
Oh, okay.
It's about 3 people in different
Hey, 4 people.
4 people, sorry.
Ah.
Who have different lifestyles and they go to meet someone who gives them different instructions.
Yes, I wasn't there for this class, but I think
Once upon a time in California, in the Silicon Valley, 4 people went to meet Shripad Vaisheshika Maharaj in ISV. And then you tell me what happened. We should do a drama on this.
there
Speak.
was a devotee. Then there was it a
Okay,
fisherman?
Arav, today is Monday. Day after tomorrow is Wednesday. Day after tomorrow, I want you to take lesson from Anvika and in 60 seconds, tell this story to everyone. Can you do that on Wednesday? Okay, good. So now we go. It's a very important story. Why a devotee doesn't care? Jivova Marova. Devotee doesn't care. That is a devotee. And what is the example I give? We are at the boarding gate with the bag in the hand. And we are just waiting to be called. Look at Anvika how she's jumping. Okay, Anvika, you want to tell? Today now Anvika will give a class. Now, Bhakti Shastri teacher. Quick, Anvika, that story which made your brother cry in ecstasy. When you told that story, Deepak Prabhu was overwhelmed.
Tell the story. Okay, look.
4 people.
The devotee, there is a Brahmana, there is a fisherman, and there was
Anvika. Today is Monday. Day after tomorrow is Wednesday. So you refresh your memory, prepare nicely, and then you tell it on Wednesday, day after tomorrow.
Okay.
Fisherman was little speculation.
Fisherman.
Butcher.
But you revise it nicely and then you tell it Wednesday.
Sure.
Okay? We will wait Wednesday. Wednesday is your day. Okay, thank you. Maybe you just came from swimming lessons. That's why you're thinking of fisherman. Okay, verse 30. Sarve pete yajnavido yajna kshapita kalmashaha yajna shishtamrita bhujo yanti brahma sanatanam. Shri Krishna is saying, after describing this various types of sacrifices, of various types of different spiritual practitioners, Shri Krishna is saying, all these performers who know the meaning of sacrifice, Yajna Vida. Yajna Vida. They know what is the meaning of sacrifice. Become cleansed of sinful reactions. Yajna Kshapita Kalmasha. Yajna Kshapita Kalmasha means through Yajna they become completely purified of all kalmash, all sins. And having tasted nectar, Yajna Shishta means that which is offered in Yajna. Yajna Shishtamrita. Bhujo. Bhujo means they have tasted. Such people who have tasted Amrit from the Yajna, having tasted the nectar of the result of sacrifice, they advance towards the supreme eternal atmosphere. Yanti Brahma Sanatanam. They attain the eternal spiritual abode. Now, very, very important is Yajna Vido. Can you tell me why? Why Shri Krishna is saying one who understands what is actual yajna through all these processes will attain complete purification and thereby attain the spiritual world. Think about it. Why Krishna is saying yajna vido? Okay, I will make it simple. Okay, Keshav Madhav Prabhu.
Prabhuji, the philosophy itself is Krishna consciousness. If in case we aren't conscious of Krishna, then whatever we are doing doesn't relate to Krishna at all. It is just for our own purpose.
Yes, we have to understand that all these processes are meant for self purification. And if they are meant for the pleasure of Krishna, samsiddhir haritoshanam, if that consciousness is not there, then these kriya, these activities, whether you are a brahmachari, you are a grahastha, you are doing dravya yajna, you are doing swadhyaya yajna, whatever sacrifice you are doing, if you don't understand the meaning of sacrifice, the very meaning of sacrifice is to give pleasure to Krishna, to do things for Krishna. If this understanding is not there, then how you will get the desired result? How you will get the desired result? For example, a doctor's purpose is to make the patient feel better. Patient comes with appendicitis. No, today I feel like removing gallbladder. चल तेरी gallbladder निकालता हूँ. And instead of removing the appendix, you remove the gallbladder. Somebody has come with a kidney stone. No, I feel like removing your tooth. I don't like your tooth. Let me remove your tooth. Will the patient feel better? No, will not feel better. Therefore, unless and until, because what is the purpose of doctor? A purpose of doctor is not appendectomy, not cholecystectomy, not to remove the appendix or the gallbladder. The purpose of doctor is to heal the patient. A physician who understands this can actually help the patient. I have to do what is best for the patient, not that I have to do what I have learned. Today I have read about appendectomy. तो आज तो मैं appendix निकाल के रहूंगा. Not like that. We have to see the patient, what is best for the patient, what is the purpose. The purpose is to make the patient heal, make the patient feel better, bring the patient back to good health. Similarly, the purpose of a upasak, the purpose of a spiritualist is to please Krishna. Yajna means to please Lord Vishnu, to please Lord Krishna. And this understanding is of paramount importance if we want to achieve success in yajna. That's what Krishna is saying. Those who are yajna vido, those who know the purpose of yajna, they will get the yanti brahma sanatanam. They will attain the eternal spiritual abode. Therefore, whatever we do, my dear friends, we have to understand the purpose. If we are studying Bhakti Shastri, why we are studying Bhakti Shastri. If we are chanting, why we are chanting. If we are offering obeisances to the deity, why we are offering. All these things we must understand. And if you don't understand, you ask your parents, dear devotees, dear kids. Anything you do and you don't understand what is the reason behind this, then you should ask your parents. Children, you should ask your parents. You should or ask some senior devotee. I want to understand why we don't eat grains on Ekadashi. What is it? Next day we eat grains. Ekadashi we don't eat grains. I want to understand. I want to understand why Lord Ramchandra hid behind a tree to kill Vali. Why? Ravan he challenged face to face. Why Vali he did like that? Any question is there, we have to ask it and be completely convinced. Haribol. Tadvidhi pradipatena pariprashnena sevaya. We have to ask questions. And then we should be completely convinced. Haribol. So like that. Are there any questions? Kids, go to sleep. You have school tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, dear devotees. If there are any questions, I can take. Gopesh.
I had a small question. If bhakti is the best process to attain Shri Krishna, then why was it not performed in like Sati Yoga, or was it performed in a different way? I don't.
Yes, it is bhakti, beta. Just like Krishna is eternal, na, Krishna bhakti is also eternal. Jivera Swarup hai Krishna Nityadas. It is the nature of the Jiva to love Krishna. Bhakti is going on eternally in Golok Vrindavan, in the spiritual world. So Bhakti is eternal. In Satya Yuga also it was practiced. In Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga also. But as you rightly said, it was practiced in different ways. Kriteya dhyayato Vishnum. Tretayam yato makhay. Dwapare paricharyayam. Kalauto Hari Kirtanat. Srimad Bhagavatam, Shri Shukdev Goswami describes Bhakti was practiced in way of different Yuga dharmas for different yugas. In Krite, in Satya Yuga, it was Dhyayato Vishnu, by doing Dhyan on Lord Vishnu, meditating. Tretayam Yajato Makhay. In Treta Yuga, by doing elaborate sacrifices with lots of ghee and purity and pure mantra ucharan and pure purohits, brahmanas. That was Treta Yuga, where Yajna was the Yuga Dharma and Bhakti was practiced through Yajna. And then Dwapare Paricharyayam, in Dwapar Yuga, to do archana of Shri Vigraha of Krishna, deity worship. Kalau tad Hari Kirtanad. And in Kalyug, it is through Hari Kirtan. Therefore, we have all these Kirtan festivals. Hari Bol. Is that okay, Gopesh?
Yes, but my doubt was a little like my doubt was that if bhakti is the fastest process, then why are they performing like tapasya? Then they can attain Shri Krishna faster.
Oh, you are saying why there are other types of processes other than bhakti?
Yes, kind
Like
of.
Dhyana Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Ashtanga Yoga, all those things?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, because beta, there are people with different natures. For example, wearing dhoti and kurta is best. Then why in the market there are denim? Why in the market there is shirt pant? Because there will be some people who will cover their bodies with that. Better to wear jeans than to go naked, correct? So then denim is also available. Shirt pant is also available. But best is to wear dhoti kurta. So best is bhakti. However, there are some people who are not ready for bhakti. So instead of becoming atheistic, instead of becoming materialistic, they are given other processes which they can relate to, which they like to do, and thereby they will gradually make progress. But the direct path, the interstate highway, the quickest way, you are on the fastest route. That is bhakti. How the GPS says, you're still on the fastest route. There is a delay, 15-minute traffic delay, but you're still on the fastest route. That is bhakti. So there are other ways, other paths, because not everybody has bhakti adhikar. Not everybody has eligibility for bhakti. They have interest, inclinations in different ways. So there are different paths. The aim of Krishna is to somehow or the other bring everybody closer to spiritual life. Like that. But we are very fortunate that we have interest in bhakti. Is that okay, Lokesh? Gopesh, sorry.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Just like in a university, there are different divisions, there are different ways of doing things. Computers are different, isn't it? Cars are different. Now, someone may say that Toyota is the best car. Let there be only one brand, Toyota. No, but there are some people who like Honda. Once I asked one person, why you bought Honda? So I like the cup holder arrangement better than Toyota Sienna. Therefore, I bought Honda Odyssey. Really, one person told me like that. So, different folks, different strokes. They like different paths. So, like that, there are many paths Krishna has created. So, there is something for everyone. Yes, Divya Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Now, my question about Vaishnava etiquette.
Ji.
Now, I have observed this. It's not with everyone, but few devotees, if they are in a senior position or in a management position, they end up being controlling and short-tempered. So, what do? We can't rectify them. We
You
can't.
should tell the person who is superior to them. The superior person can tell them. Okay.
Wouldn't that be complaining or doing aprat?
You can present it in a very nice way that Mataji or Prabhuji, I have to bring to your attention something that is bothering me. You please tell me how I should deal with it. If it's a problem with me, you tell me, I will correct myself. But if there's a problem with the leaders, then you kindly tell them, because I'm not in a position to tell them. If you feel appropriate, you please give them this feedback. But this is what is happening. This is how I feel. So it's how you present it. But you should tell the superior of the superiors if that is happening. Okay? But you should put it in a very respectful way, respectable way, Vaishnava way. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Prabhuji, my question is on the impersonal realization of Brahman. You were mentioning that the four doshas are not there, or the four limitations are not Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, right? On that point, the ambiguity question that I have is like, Srila Prabhupada mentions in his comments that once somebody has achieved Brahman realization, they get very restless and then again they fall back into the material world. And then they practice bhakti, and after a period of time, then they go back. They probably will come back to Godhead, depending upon how they pursue it. So then, isn't that comment nullifying the Janma dosha?
Very good point. that jiva who may come from the Brahmajyoti platform back in the material world to practice bhakti, that is special mercy of Krishna. But Srila Jiva Goswami writes in the Sandarbhas that one who attains the Brahmajyoti actually does not fall, because the Brahmajyoti is eternal and the existence is eternal. But if Krishna wants, Krishna can do anything. If Krishna wants to give special mercy, then from Brahmajyoti platform also that person can come and take a birth in this material world in the human form and get a chance to practice bhakti and thereby change the destination. And instead of going to Brahmajyoti, may be able to go to Vaikuntha. That's how Srila Prabhupada has presented it. But we should understand, for all practical purposes, that Brahmajyoti should be seen as a eternal existence. It is Satchidananda. It is eternal. And Bhagavad Gita also says it is eternal. But sometimes Krishna can make exceptions and Krishna can give special mercy to a jiva who is on the level of Brahman realization and give them a chance for bhakti. Then they come and they practice bhakti and they go to Vaikuntha. Like that, we have to understand. Is that helpful, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Also, an extension of this is the difference between the personal realization and also the Bhagavan realization, Paramatma realization and the Bhagavan realization. Uh, the Paramatma realization seems to be very close to the Shantaras.
It is. It is.
Okay,
In fact,
so
some yogis, yeah, you're right. In fact, some yogis who sincerely meditate on the Paramatma, they attain Shantaras. It's a fact.
okay, Prabhuji. Yeah,
Good.
thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
It's like your garland, Mataji. Generally, the flowers don't fall, but sometimes a flower may fall at the lotus feet of Guru Maharaj, and that would be good fortune of that flower. So sometimes Krishna may give special mercy to some jiva in the Brahma Jyoti and make them fall into a devotee family, so they get some chance to practice bhakti, and then through bhakti sukrati they go to Vaikuntha, like that. Last question, Keshav Prabhu. Hari Bol.
So much, Prabhuji. Prabhu, I just heard Mataji's question and it was very, very relevant. I was just thinking that for devotees who have practiced bhakti, but they have not yet achieved bhakti, pure devotional service bhakti, they have traversed on the path of bhakti, but they have not yet achieved bhakti, pure devotional love of Krishna. Then they might be given birth in very aristocratic families or knowledgeable
नाम
families.
श्रीमताम गे है योगो
Correct.
भक्तो भी जाते हाँ
Correct. My question was more with respect to there are people who are born in different communities, different religions. So because they have been taught in a certain fashion, in a certain philosophy, all throughout their childhood, as well as the samskara is what they have right now, what is their destination? Or what could be their destination? Is the only hope for them to come to Krishna consciousness? Or how, what should we understand about them?
I didn't understand your question properly. So you're talking about a devotee who falls down.
I'm talking about a person who was born in some different religion, but what happens to him after? That's because he has been dovetailed in a certain fashion and a certain philosophy all throughout of his life. Sometimes he might be even told that Krishna doesn't exist. So what happens to such a person when he leaves the body?
They will attain destination according to their karma. If they are raised in a certain different religion,
right,
and whatever they are taught and how much ever they practice that religion sincerely or insincerely, accordingly they will get a destination. Srila Prabhupada explains that those who are proper Christians, those who follow Christianity properly, they go to the Father in heaven, who is Lord Brahma. And then Lord Brahma further trains them and then they will go to Vaikuntha along with Lord Jesus Christ, along with Lord Brahma.
Noted.
So if they are proper Christians, then they will attain that form. If somebody is a Muslim and 5 times a day they are praying, they go for Hajj, they give charity, they fast during Ramzan, and they are God-fearing people, they have devotion, dedication towards the Supreme Lord Allah, Khuda, Nam Namakari Bahuda, Nija Sarva Shaktis. So then they will make spiritual progress in that way. All the scriptures are meant to elevate people spiritually. But if we become fanatical, we become religious fundamentalists, and without understanding the other paths, we get into conflict or we commit droha, violence against other sincere practitioners, then that will be very detrimental to our spiritual well-being, and it will bring a lot of inauspiciousness for us in the future. So the fact is that in different ages, in different places, Krishna's representatives, Krishna's devotees, Krishna's prophets, messenger of God, son of God, in different ways they come and they uplift the consciousness. And there is no doubt that spiritual evolution of the soul is a fact. Srila Prabhupada often said that there is spiritual evolution, consciousness evolution is there. And it's up to them. Like I said, um, once who had asked Gaurang Prabhu? Maybe I had asked, or some student had asked in front of me to Gaurang Prabhu, His Grace Gaurang Prabhu, when I was living in the boys' hostel during my MBBS medical school, that what will happen to a Muslim? Because our JJ hospital was on Muhammad Ali Road. It was a fully Muslim area. We used to call it Chota Pakistan. So when India-Pakistan game used to happen and India used to lose, there used to be firecrackers. That's where I lived for 5.5 years. So somebody asked that what will happen to all these Muslims? So Gaurang Prabhu simply said it is between them and Allah. So what will happen to the Christians? They will make spiritual progress. It's between them and Jesus Christ. It's between Muslims and Prophet Muhammad. And it's between us and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So whichever path you follow, the Sampradaya Acharya, the supreme spiritual preceptor, they take responsibility. Hari Bol. Okay. Anjali Mataji, then Haripat Prabhu, and then Abhay Gopal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My question was, ultimate purpose of Krishna consciousness is like at the time of death we should remember Krishna and we should go to Golok. So, uh, like after joining, we feel that first, I feel that already it's very late. There is so much to learn, so many shastras and chanting also we just started. So, is it like uh, we should prepare that in next janam we should like go to the Golok or in this only there is any scope? So how should we prepare? Because like we are reading in Srimad Bhagavatam also, like for Bharat Maharaj, after doing so much of devotion at the time of death, he just remembered for a few minutes for deer and he turned into a deer. So I am not even doing so much. So how we should proceed? What should be our thought process while doing bhakti?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
If we think how you are thinking, then we will certainly go back to God in this lifetime. दीनेरा अधिक दया करे भगवान पंडित कुलीन धनीर बड़ा अभिमान. If we think how you're thinking, that I have very less chance, I am so neophyte, I am so new, then we will go back to Godhead in this lifetime and we perform sincere bhajan. So it's a very good attitude, and I pray that you are able to maintain this mindset for the rest of your life and perform bhajan at the same time. This mindset is very healthy. The path that has been given to us is not a path of many lifetimes. If practiced sincerely, then we will attain Shri Krishna in this lifetime or in one more lifetime. And then my Guru Maharaj, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj, said that Bharat Maharaj fell down into the deer species so that we don't have to fall down. We can learn. So Bharat Maharaj's fall down in Srimad Bhagavatam is meant to teach us that don't make the same mistake. And we all have to see what is the deer in my life. What is the distraction in my life? That deer was a distraction for Bharat Maharaj. And we have to see who is the superior in my life who can catch hold of my ear and chastise me. We all should have someone in our life who we report to who can chastise us when we make mistake. Unfortunately, Bharat Maharaj did not have anybody. He was doing Nibritta Bhajan. He was doing solitude, devotional practice. There was no one to tell him that, Bharat Prabhu, you are too distracted with this deer. There are so many thousands of deer living in the forest. They are surviving without your help. Let this deer go. You do your bhajan. You have left your family, your wife, your children for the sake of bhajan. What are you doing? Let go of this deer. Let it go. Even if a tiger eats, the deer is a natural food for tiger. You are artificially trying to domesticate this deer. The deer is not a domestic animal. Cow is the only animal in the creation who is obligate domestic animal. Cow. No other animal is an obligate domestic animal. They are meant to live in the wild. But there was no one to tell this to Bharat Maharaj. So we should have two things in our life. We should ask ourselves, what is the deer in my life that is distracting me today? It could be Netflix. It could be YouTube premium membership where no ads come to disturb us so we can watch all we want. It could be some friends who call us for get-togethers where there is just prajalpa gossip and no Krishna conscious talk. It could be some bad habits that we have. It could be some bad websites we will be visiting. We have to see what is the deer in my life. Bharat Maharaj fell, so we don't fall. Chitraketu Maharaj fell, so we don't fall. This is the beauty of Srimad Bhagavatam. We should do bhajan sincerely, and we should always think how you are thinking. That I am not qualified. I have long way to go. And then Krishna will give his mercy. Trinadapi sunichena taroravi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtanya sadhari. Because Krishna has said, Man mana bhavamad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vashyasi. You will come to me. If you become my devotee, think of me, worship me, and offer your obeisances unto me. So it's not a path of many, many births. It's a path of one lifetime. त्यक्त्वादेहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम एवं यो वेद तत्वतः त्यक्त्वादेहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति स्वर्जुन. Where other paths like Jnana Marg, then Bahunam Janmanamante, Jnanavan Mam Prapadya. But for Bhakti, Krishna never says that many births of Bhakta will get me. Bhakti is this life. So Bhakti is a very powerful process. Khatvanga Maharaj attained Krishna in one moment, one muhurta he had. Just surrendered. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. And he attained Krishna. So you have not started Krishna consciousness late. You have started it quite early. But you should think that I have started very late. Because Shri Prahlad Maharaj in Bhagavatam says, Kaumaram Acharit Pradnya. Kaumar means less than 5 years. We have to start it less than 5 years of age. So we should think that I started very late. And then we should think that I have not even started nicely, seriously, yet I am still insincere. But at the most, we will have to take birth one lifetime somewhere where Gaur Leela is taking place and Mahaprabhu, his associates, will give us Krishna Prem. But that birth also is not a material birth because it's a birth in Gaur Leela. with Gaur Parshads or Gauranga Mahaprabhu directly if you are very fortunate. So therefore, we should, with dridhata, we should worship Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Shri Nityananda Prabhu. Parama Karuna, Pahu Duijana, Nitai Gaura Chandra. Sab Avatara Sara Shiromani, Kevala Ananda Kanda. भजो भजो भाई चैतन्य निताय सुदृढ़ विश्वास कोरी विषय छाड़िया सेवा से मजिया मुखे बोलो हरि 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 निताय गौर हरि बोल. I hope that was helpful, Mataji. And Hari Pat Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So Prabhuji, I don't have any question, but just the Prabhuji, what the question he asked before, just to add on what my understanding is. So when Prabhuji said, like, if somebody is born in some other family or some other religion, right? The outreach, I believe, from ISKCON is so high and so much that everybody must have heard the Krishna name once. And remembering from one of your morning class, Prabhuji, I don't recall the full verse, but from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, you always say, Ek Krishna Naam Kare Sarva Pap Nash. Right? Which means if you have heard the name once,
करे
you
सर्व
will
पाप अक्षय एक कृष्ण नाम करे सर्व पाप अक्षय नवविधा भक्ति कृष्ण नाम हैते है.
right. So that will awakening of love for the God and destroy all the sins, right? So I think in that way, everybody is somehow or the other, they must have heard the Krishna name. By Prabhupada's mercy, and all the Gurujanas what we have across the world.
Very nice point. Thank you. That's why we go out on Nam Sankirtan. That's why we go out on Jagannath Rath Yatra.
Jai Jagannath.
Where Haripat Prabhu uses his Grahastha driving license to drive the Rath of Jagannath. He is a driver. So very nice. Very nice. I'm very happy. Yes, Prabhuji. That's why we go out and preach. That's why we go and distribute books. Hare Krishna. I would like to buy this book about Krishna. They heard. Yan nama shruti matrana puman bhavati nirmala. Yes, hear Krishna name. It will pure. Yan nama shruti matrana puman bhavati nirmala. Person becomes purified just by hearing Krishna name. So we go out on book distribution. We do Nam Sankirtan. We preach. We do outreach. Jagannath Rath Yatra. Yes, this is the purpose. We are trying to give Agyat Sukrati to people, unknowingly giving them Krishna. Thank you. That was a very nice comment, Harivat. Hari Hari. All your hard work and your devotion and simplicity and service attitude towards His Holiness Srila Bir Krishna Goswami Maharaj is giving you these nice realizations. Hari Bol. Thank you. Nandini, today officially you have graduated from being Nandini to Nandini Mataji because you are the only child who is so eager to hear. You stay with video on as if there is no school. Thank you, beta. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much, dear devotees. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Please say Haribol to me. So I feel very, very happy. Thank you. Haribol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.